Hello friends and welcome to Out of Pocket. My name is Ryan, aka Ron, and today we have another dangerous disruption. But wait, before I get into today's video, I have a hot take, and it might in fact be the hottest of takes. Indeedee EX. Now you might be wondering, Ryan, why are we looking at Indeedee EX? Well, let me tell you, run that clip. New Psychic Basic EX. Okay, so 130 HP, 30 attack, does 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active, 1 retreat, 2 cost. Once during your turn, you may heal 20 damage from your active. That's not bad. Yeah, it gets really good when your opponent starts having more than 1 energy. This is interesting. Man, it's kind of compelling actually for me with, speaking of my Gengar deck, I might have to think about this thing. How do you say, Indeedee? This thing's compelling. I might have to think about it. I probably won't use it because of the 2 costs, but it's actually, this is interesting. It could be decent. Is that for some Inception level stuff? Anyway, as you can tell from the clip, at first I was like, okay. And then I started to get more interesting. Now that I've thought about it a little more and I've mathed it out, I think this might be, here's my hot take, I think this might be the best card that Pocket has ever produced just mathematically in a vacuum. Now I know that's a hot take, but let me at least tell you the math that I'm going. So if you recall my math video for the 3 of you that watched it, I would say the average math for a basic EX Pokemon is 155-ish. Right around there. So let's take Indeedee. We have 130 HP. Now we get to the attack. I'm saying on average, I think it will attack an active Pokemon that has 2 energy on it. I think that's a very reasonable number. Sometimes you're going to get 1, sometimes you're going to get more. I think 2 is pretty average, which means this thing is averaging 90 attack. That's what I'm suggesting is its average. Obviously, it's worse against Crobat or Blaziken, or there's things it's weak to. I'm not saying it has no weaknesses. Pocket doesn't happen just in a vacuum. So there are supporter cards and, you know, helpful Pokemon that surround the game, and it's not, cards just aren't in a vacuum is what I'm trying to say. But nonetheless, in a vacuum, I think this might be the strongest card they've ever produced. So back to the math, 130 HP, I'm saying average of 90 attack because it gets plus 30 damage for each energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon, which means it's Tapu Lele on steroids, except it can't attack the bench, which is relevant, but it's Tapu Lele on steroids. So we're saying 190, so 130, sorry, 90. So 130 plus 90 is 220. Minus 10 retreat is 210, and then if you remember the math video, it's minus 30 for the attack because 10 for the first energy, 20 for the second energy, so that's minus 30, which if you're keeping up, that leads us to 180. And currently the highest I'm valuing any basic in the game is 190. I believe I have Suicune and Greninja valued at 190. And I'm saying this thing is 180 on average if your opponent has 2 active, 2 energy on the active, before you even add in the healing effect. And then you add in the healing effect, and I add in just healing, I add in straight numbers. So it says heal 20, so that to me is plus 20. So now we're at 200. That to me is already putting it as the highest math basic in the game, ahead of Suicune, ahead of Greninja, which, sorry, Giratina, I think I said Greninja earlier. Giratina is what I'm trying to say. And on top of that, I'm adding 10 more points for the fact that you don't have to attack to heal. You can just heal. It's a Wigglytuff effect, except it's on a basic and you can just heal the active whenever you want to. So that's, I'm saying plus 10 for that effect. So that's, now we're at 210. And then on top of that, because it can also heal from the bench, I also count that as plus 20 more, because while it's on the bench, it's not attacking, but it can still just heal 20 damage to your active Pokemon. So I am mathing this Pokemon currently. Again, maybe I need to fix my math. Maybe valuing its attack at 90 is too high on average. Maybe it's more like 70. But even if it's 70, and even if you don't value the healing from the bench that high or the healing from the active that high, I think the lowest you could almost reasonably value this Pokemon is 190, which is where I have Giratina and Suicune at the very top. And I think it's higher than that because I think generally it's going to average more than, 60 or 70 on its attack. It'll probably average upwards of 90 against a lot. And on top of that, the healing is oftentimes relevant, especially if you have two of them. Again, it's Wigglytuff, but it's a basic, and it does way more damage, and it has 30 more HP. So I think in a vacuum, this is arguably the most broken Pokemon they have ever put in the game. Now, with that said, does it have weaknesses? Yeah, it has weaknesses. So it's probably not very good against Blaziken, right? Because Blaziken's usually going to have 1 energy, so it hits for 60, and it gets one-shotted by Blaziken, so that's not great. Against Crobat, it's, weak to dark, and it only does 60, so it's not great against Crobat. Gyarados or something, Mega Gyarados is interesting because it gets one-shotted by it, but it can also do 150 damage in a vacuum, so that's really good. So, I mean, that kind of balances itself out. It can one-shot Giratina if it's fully energized. It can almost one-shot Darkrai if it's fully energized. You can with a red. Again, same thing, you can one-shot Guzzlord with a red. So all that to say, I think it's extremely good. And I have seen in a couple of Mega Altaria decks, so people are using it some. It's obviously pretty good, also with some synergy. And I think if you put a cape on this thing that's at 150 and it doesn't get Guzma'd, then it's extraordinarily good, because then it's not one-shotted by Blaziken, it's not one-shotted by Mega Gyarados and other things of that nature, by Giratina. So the HP is a little suspect, but if you do get it to that 150, it's very, very good. And even in a vacuum, I think it's very good. Obviously, it's meta dependent. I've tried to say that here. It does have weaknesses. You can obviously kill it, whatever. But in a vacuum, my hot take is that this thing might be the best card they have ever printed. I didn't intend to talk this long about Indeedee, but let me keep going for just a second to give some more context. So let's compare this to Tapu Koko, right? Tapu Koko is a good basic. I would say it's not the best basic, but it's very solid. It's towards the top, and it's very good with its synergy with lightning. Now let's compare. They both have 130 HP. If the average of Indeedee's attack is 90, they both have a 90 attack. Now, the difference between Tapu Koko and Indeedee is Tapu Koko's cost 3 and Indeedee's cost 2, and Indeedee's is more dependent upon what it's fighting. So sometimes it's going to be 60, sometimes it's going to be more than 90, but nonetheless, you could even say those balance out, especially with Tapu Koko's 1 cost attack and generating the energy. You could say that's a strength, that's a good thing. But at the end of the day, Tapu Koko caps out at 90. And if you have it on the bench and you haven't been able to power it up front, then you do have to put that extra energy on it. But all that to say, they're semi-similar on the attack. Now, and they both, you could even argue that Tapu Koko's cost 2 in some sense because it generates that 1 energy. But then even if we say those are averaging out, you still have Indeedee's effect, which is you can heal 20 from active. So if you put in Indeedee, you start first and you put Indeedee in and they hit you for 20 or 30 or whatever, you can just heal the 20 damage. So that's already a benefit over Tapu Koko. Now again, sometimes that'll be relevant, sometimes it won't, like if you get one-shotted or something. But say you're fighting a Torchic and a Mega Blaziken and you go first and you put Indeedee out and then they Torchic, they hit you for 20, now you're at 110. Now say you have a cape, you go to 130 and then you heal, now you're at 150. That means you can survive a turn from Blaziken and then you can hit it. That's something Tapu Koko cannot do, really, unless you have a potion, but it can't do it by itself. So already that's a bit of a benefit over Tapu Koko. And I think the thing that really makes it even stronger, well, before I go to that, it also can heal from the bench. So if you start with something other than itself, say you're a Tapu Koko deck and you start Zeraora or Oricorio or something, like you can't do anything, you just start them, right? And Indeedee, if it has friends that could be like that, it can just heal 20, which could be very relevant. It could be irrelevant sometimes, but sometimes it's going to be very relevant. So that's another benefit. Now, also, yes, sometimes Tapu Koko is more consistently hitting for 90, but sometimes Indeedee can almost double. Occasionally, it will double Tapu Koko. It can go up to sometimes 150 if it's fighting a Guzzlord, if it's fighting a Giratina, if it's fighting a Mega Gyarados, it can swing for 150, which is really massive for a 2-cost basic Pokemon. If it's fighting Darkrai, it can swing for 120, etc., etc. All I'm saying is, yes, there are some times where Tapu Koko would be better than Indeedee. I will acknowledge that. But in a vacuum, Indeedee is much more flexible and it has a much higher ceiling than Tapu Koko, and Tapu Koko is one of the better basics in the game. So I just wanted to use that as a frame of reference. I'm not saying this is the bee's knees that's going to break everything. Obviously it's not, but especially if they ever give a really, really good psychic pair with this, you know, something like an energy taxing effect like Stoutland or something, but they do it in psychic and they, you know, make it a little more powerful or something. I mean, if this thing has the right partners, it could be very, very, very good. I already think it is very good. But that's enough about me talking about that. I am planning to build some decks with this despite what I said in the clip from last week. But now let's actually get into the reason why you're here.
Dangerous disruption.
All right, so this is the reason why we're all gathered here. We're on another psychic Pokemon, even though it's not exactly because it's a baby, but it is psychic. The baby Pokemon, and I believe, I'm pretty confident, the only baby Pokemon from Mega Rising, which is Chingling. Now, Chingling is 30 HP, 10 attack, 0 retreat, 0 cost attack because it's a baby, jingly noise, and it says during your opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards from their hand. Now, I already commented about this in the big set review that I just did for Mega Rising, but I used to play Vikavolt with Oricorio because I think it's really good. It can shut down items. It was sometimes extremely good against Greninja Suicune when it could stop them from rare candy. But the problem with Vikavolt is that it's a stage 2 and it costs 2 to swing. So by the time you get it online, a lot of times you're simply not going to be able to stop them from doing anything because they've already done it. Now you could maybe pair Vikavolt with like Raikou or something and really draw through and get it online and Leaf and whatever. There's probably ways to do it, but Chingling solves that problem because turn 1 you can just stop them from playing Pokeball, from playing Rare Candy, from playing Elemental Switch, whatever. If they make any other better items in the future, you can just stop them from playing that. Now, it only has 30 HP, it's a baby, but honestly, the fact that it swings for 10 is also really good because now Cyrus is in play. You can actually kill stuff occasionally if you pair it with, you know, Darkrai or actual pings and whatever. It's pretty relevant. Now, it's definitely a little bit fragile because it's a baby and you have to pick your moments with it, and sometimes it's irrelevant, right? Sometimes they've already done what they need to do, but 50% of the time, if you're running the decks I'm running it in, which I'm usually running 4 basics, then it's 50% of the time it's just going to stop them from, you know, doing some stuff. If they ever make a baby Pokemon that says you can't play items or supporter cards, it's going to absolutely mess the game up. They did a baby Pokemon that said no supporters, that would be even better than Chingling. That would be fantastic. Now, all this to say, I was cooking a Gengar deck, as I said in the Mega Rising review, but I think I've realized Gengar is just not quite good enough. The baby Gengar doesn't swing for enough damage. I'm not doing the Asleep Gengar because I don't want to, and it's still probably not good enough. And then the big Gengar is good, but it's 3 cost attack and it's can't play supporters, which is good, but sometimes it's irrelevant and it doesn't swing for enough and you just die. So all that to say, I started thinking and I said to myself, okay, we need something powerful, right? So we need EX Pokemon to pair with this because it's a little baby Chingling and it's just gonna die. And then you need partners that are really beefy and tanky. But then I also said, well, you also need to be able to deal with Oricorio, right? So you could just put a 1-of, people have done this. So you could just put a 1-of something like Sableye or whatever. They've done it in the Altaria decks. I saw one with 2 Chingling and they had either an Altaria basic or the colorless one or Sableye, which you can do that. But I want Chingling to be a little bit more of a focal point and I wanted to put a full line with it. And so I started thinking, okay, well, what about the Pokemon that have an EX and a non-EX? So, you know, Greninja, they just did an EX and they also have a non-EX. So I tried a deck with Chingling and one of each of those. And then I tried a deck with Primarina because that's another one that has a good stage 2 non-EX, but it also has a good stage 2 EX, and those just, they weren't consistent enough. They're just not good enough. You just lose a lot of times at the beginning. So I started thinking, well, okay, what I really would like to make this work, so what can I do? And I settled on what I think in this deck format and the type of deck I am building, what I think is probably the best option to pair with Chingling and how I'm building decks. Again, you can do it with Altaria, you can do it with other stuff, but the way I build decks is I pair with baby Pokemon. When I have, a basic Pokemon, or baby in this case, I like to pair it with a stage 2. And so I settled on Garchomp because I can run 2 Garchomp EXs and maximize my consistency in fighting and having a beefy thing to attack with, but I can still beat Oricorio for 2 reasons. Number 1, Garchomp and its pre-evolutions are fighting type, which means I can 2-shot an Oricorio with both a Gible and a Gabite, so that's very relevant. And number 2, and arguably just as importantly, Garchomp's first attack is the ability Linear Something, which it can do 50 attack to any Pokemon that are out. So I can snipe something on the bench. If they put something on the bench like an EX Pokemon, I can snipe it and then I can maybe Cyrus it and bring it out. So that's how I settled on Garchomp. I don't think it's like the best deck that's ever existed, or I wouldn't even probably play it in a tournament, but I think it's not bad. I think we can steal some wins with it, and let's get to it. But real quick, if you're not familiar, let's go over Garchomp EX. So we have 170 HP. It's a stage 2. It has its first attack is 1 cost. It does 50 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon, which is very, very cool, very relevant. And then it has a 3 cost attack that does 100. And it has 1 retreat, which is also very good. So this also pairs really well with Chingling because it has a 1 cost attack. So I could start with a Gible and I can put it out, but then draw into Chingling. I can retreat and put Chingling out. If I rare candy into Garchomp, I still have an attack I can do even in that scenario, which is really cool. So anyway, let's get into the deck. All right, so check this deck out. We got 8 supporters. We got 2 Cyrus, 2 Pokemon Center Lady, 2 Copycat, new card, 2 Professors, 2 Gible, 2 Gabite, 2 Garchomp, 2 Chingling, 2 rare candies, 2 Pokeballs. Last 4 are items, of course. Now, if you followed my journey at all, I have altered my heuristics a bit. I'm always testing something usually if I'm, trying new cards or whatever. So you might notice a few things here. The first is before I was doing 6 supporters and 6 items, I am currently going with the test run of the fact that supporters are just better than items. And yes, you can clog your deck with too many supporters, but I'm trying double the amount of supporters to items. In other words, I have 8 supporters, 4 items, and then 8 Pokemon, of course. Part of the reason for this is I was running potions, so what you would have seen, yesterday, if I was building this deck, is potion in place of Copycat. But the more I've thought about Copycat, I'm like, I think this is exactly the kind of card I'm looking for. I don't think I would want to give up Professor because it's so consistent, but to have both in the deck gives you a lot of options. If you're running into a fast deck, Copycat's really going to help you keep up with it, which is really helpful since I'm running slower decks, and a lot of my frustrations in this game come from feeling like I just didn't draw what I needed. I think Copycat will help with that a lot. And also supporters are just in general stronger. So this is somewhat subject to change. If they put out a broken item like rare candy or whatever, then the deck could change again, or all my decks could change. But for now, I'm trying this. I'll also point out a couple other things. Number 1, I'm running the Fighting Gible and not the Dragon Gible. This is partly for Oricorio because I want to be able to hit it for maximum damage, and partly just because it's good into lightning. Like, it has a strength. The dragon one doesn't have a weakness, but it also doesn't have a strength, and I would like a strength. Now, another thing, and probably the last thing I'd like to point out with this deck, is Cyrus is actually very good in this deck. I am running Cyrus in all of my decks, but it's particularly good in this deck because of Garchomp's linear attack ability, that it can hit the bench for 50. So especially against like Oricorio, right? If they have an EX Raikou or something on their bench, I can spend a turn sniping that Raikou and then Cyrus it and then take it out, which also helps you get around Oricorio, and it's just a really useful ability, especially, in this meta, maybe like, hey, I can snipe Magikarp, I can snipe Jirachi, I can snipe whatever. I don't know if we'll get to see it in this video because I haven't actually played the games yet as of now, but it could be a thing where, hey, Chingling is just keeping them from getting what they need, and then boom, I have Garchomp and I just start sniping stuff. So with all that said, let's get into some gameplay. Y'all have no idea how long it just took me to figure out that my audio was just muted in my game instead of something wrong with the software. Anyway, let's jump in. All right, it's battle time. So hat backwards, Ash Ketchum style. For some reason, the rank season doesn't start until November 27th. I don't really know why they're doing that. A part of me is like, oh, cool, I get a break. But again, I don't know why they're doing that. At least as of this recording a few days before. Maybe we'll find out. All right, we start the Chingling first. We like that. They got a baby to counter. Uh-oh. You know, at least it's not Suicune Greninja. And the good news is that my baby does damage and their baby doesn't. Meaning that they can't evolve and I can chip at them. 2 copycats. I almost didn't attack there because I forgot babies attack. Or, you know, do something. This is the only baby Pokemon I'm playing right now. This is actually really funny though, because unless they're running, was it Dragonair, the middle evolution, which they might be, but if they're not, then this game is probably just kind of over, because I can literally just chip them down. Well, I have a whole lot of nothing. See, I'm almost tempted to use Copycat here because I would lose 2 cards, but I would gain something, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just keep chipping with this. This is just a weird start. I really could use a Gible. That would be nice. It's just an awkward game because it's like if they have the Dragonair or whatever, the middle evolution, I think it's Dragonair. It's oh, there we go. Then it's probably over. But if they don't, all right, this is helpful. This is very helpful. I could use Cyrus here and kill the Pichu. I don't know if that's worth it though, right? Or I could just keep chipping this thing. I think we won't do that. I could be wrong. Maybe I should just take the kill with Cyrus. Ah, they do have it. You jerks. That's a bummer. I think I might just take the kill. Yeah, let's just take the kill. I don't know if this is the right play. It depends kind of which Dragonite they have, because if they have the beefy boy, then I'm in trouble because it can one-shot me. Although if they have the one that does the Draco Meteor, okay, they got that one. Okay. Okay. This could go really bad or really good. Really good is the answer. But game's not over yet. I wonder if I should have saved my Cyrus now. It'd be really nice if I drew the other Gible. Alright, if they have a Lily, we're probably just SOL. Otherwise, the game might be over. This has been a weird game. Where is my other Gible? Please just retreat. That would be the best. Okay. You got a cape? You got a potion? Yes! Huzzah! Victory! Wait, the game's not over. Shoot. Crap. I thought this was an EX Pokemon. Okay, game's not over. Hold on. Okay. Okay, see, Copycat could be a potion right now. Wait. Okay. So I could, no, I have to kill this thing. And if, no, but okay, I'm thinking of the Altaria, the dragon one that has the 2 different energy types, but they don't have an electric energy coming. They have a water energy, so I think they can't get me. Dude, I just thought that was an EX. I thought that game was over. I still think, well, if I survive this turn, then the game is over. Okay, they have to have 2 different energies, so I think that should be GG, right? And either they must not know, they must not know what my first attack does. I also have Cyrus in my hand, but it doesn't really matter because I can just chip their bench. So now it's GG. Man, I totally thought that was an EX. I can't believe I won that game. That was kind of a weird game. So playing games now is kind of weird because, again, the ranked ladder isn't coming for the day I'm on for 24 days. So it's just kind of a weird time to be gaming. But again, I'm not like super upset about it. I still haven't made it to Master Ball. This guy has. I've made it to Ultra Ball 4. Took me more effort than I would have cared to, but I was able to make the Ultra Ball 4 last season. So if they're, you know, resetting everyone, then I should be back in Ultra Ball 2. Okay, this is an okay start. But yeah, I don't know why. I think there's some kind of event coming up that's supposed to help take the place of it, but I'm not really sure, man. Okay, Chingling's probably not doing a ton in this matchup, but if I can get an early Garchomp, this thing will put in work. What is this, baby daycare? Ooh, Indeedee. Oh, you're talking about Indeedee. Glad they're using it. Alright, can we get a Gibble? Yes, we can. Gibble's such a good name. Now we would like a rare candy. Okay, no, I think I won't Copycat because I would gain a card because Copycat goes out of my hand and then I would have 3 left and then I would draw 4. But because we have Gabite and Garchomp, I think we just leave it. I don't know if no items is doing a whole lot here. Can you imagine a baby Pokemon that said no supporters? That'd be sick. Even if it didn't attack. Now that would be annoying if it didn't attack, like if it didn't have 10 damage or whatever, but... Oof. Alright, okay. Obviously we rare candy. Obviously, see, this is where Copycat is stupid good because 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like it can gain me 4 cards here, which is just preposterous. All right, I think the play is we're just gonna. I can possibly 2-shot Giratina, so I think that's the play because I'm the most scared of Giratina. I didn't Copycat. If that bites me, I'm gonna be sad if that bites me. I mean, it's not like the end of the world, but I'm gonna be really sad if that bites me. Ooh. You got a berry? No, berry doesn't work. This is where Indeedee's good. I forgot. Oh, so it can heal so much with Snorlax. Okay, I'm planning to Cyrus you. I want to get rid of the Giratina. I need to find my other Garchomp. So this is, okay, so because I was a dummy dumb, Copycat's not going to be worth near as much as it could have been. And I think I just need to Cyrus here. Dang, I can't believe I didn't use That was a bad mistake. Sorry, the sound just went away. I'll plan to get it back after this game. I have my games shutting off at a certain time. So I had it did the little restriction thing, but now unfortunately the sound's off for the rest of this game, but that's okay. All right, are you gonna switch in your Snorlax? Yeah. Dang, I can't believe I didn't Copycat there. Oh, that's so bad. That probably is going to lose me the game. Maybe we'll keep it in just for the, hey, this is what happens when you make a bad mistake. I can't believe I did that. That's actually super frustrating. Alright, we're just gonna go ahead and use it since I massively blew it earlier. Yeah, that was just a really, really bad mistake. Yeah, GG. I'll keep that one in there. Just well, let's see. Yeah, I mean that's GG. I'll keep that one in there as a life lesson to always use your cards when you're supposed to, because that was really bad. All right, the sound should be back, so let's get back into it. I'll plan to probably overlay some normal music on top of that silence. I like that they finally have raised the levels from 50 to 60. I just played another game that's not going to make the cut because my opponent quit, but I'm still annoyed at myself for not playing that copycat. This is a bit of life philosophizing, but I just have a hard time letting go of my bad mistakes like that. I mean, that was a pretty bad mistake. Like, I was going to gain like 5 cards and I let him have it. Huh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah, so Chingling has free retreat, so I think we go ahead and do this, because if we get the Garchomp, we probably go into it. Oh yeah, we definitely go into it, but if we don't get the Garchomp, I forgot the babies have free retreat. So always start with the baby. They sneaked in a Pokeball. You gonna get your second one in too? Ah, yes, my friend Suicune. Garchomp's actually not bad against Suicune. Garchomp is not bad against Suicune. Gibble. Because you're Suicune, I think we will not do that. Copycat, oh, okay. What are the odds they, like, repel me or something? Oh, they can't, because I'm Chingling. They can't repel. Suck it. They could have Sabrina. But if they come in and take out my Chingling, I'm planning to come in hot with Garchomp. And this is a really good game where Copycat's really good, so I'm going to try and use it this time. Yes. Okay, so this is good. We like this. I probably can't two-shot Suicune because he probably has Irida, or will draw into it or whatever. Honestly, I'm not even going to use Copycat or Professor right now because I don't need it. I don't even really need Cyrus at the moment. I mean, I just don't want my hand to get disrupted. I guess I could, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I would gain 4 cards. But I already have the Gibble in my hand, so I'm like, I think we're just gonna hit. You know? I think we're just gonna hit. Now next turn, if they like Irida and I don't have a Cyrus or something in my hand. Okay, they're probably getting their little Froakies, unless they're running something weird. Like if next turn they go over 100 and I can't one-shot Suicune, and then I don't have a Cyrus, then I may use Copycat or Professor to go try and get myself to a Cyrus. I'm just concerned about getting my hand disrupted, but maybe I shouldn't be. I mean, if they don't have Irida, oh, they used May, so they don't have Irida. So if they don't have a Cape, this is probably GG, to be honest. Yeah, that's game. That's game. So, yeah, no harm, no foul there. Honestly, I can probably just put Gibble down because, yeah, I mean, so we'll put Gibble down because it doesn't matter. We'll go in energy here. Now we'll play, oh, I can't, Yeah, they concede. Okay. Didn't even matter. Didn't even need to play copycat. For some reason, I think it's not showing people's rankings when you play them now. Again, I'm not really sure what's going on with the ranked season or why they're on a delay. Ideally, they'll actually give an explanation to that, because I don't think they have to this point on November 3rd. Hey, Master Ball, but we'll see. Still waiting for those cool game modes, for that campaign mode. All right, I just had a super easy game against Oricorio that I'm not going to show, but I'll explain it. I went second. They had Oricorio and only Oricorio. I swung for 40 with Gible, and then they conceded. It was a great game. That's how you beat Oricorio with EX Pokemon. Man, I am drawing well so far on stream. I wish I drew this well and it was just me. Okay. You got the best Pokemon in the game in DD? Professor. Psychic Energy, so not, yeah, the best Pokemon in the game. I still only have one in DD, so waiting on, ooh, I think, oh yes, okay, so if, and it's a big if, but if I'm able to make it through this turn without them disrupting my hand, I think we just go ahead and take out that Swablu with Garchomp. So obviously what the damage I did doesn't matter because of Indeedee. No, you turd. Oh, that stinks. Here's an example of Indeedee being really good. All right, so, all right, so we're obviously gonna rare candy. We're gonna put in the fancy Garchomp. I think we need to go ahead and Professor. Okay, okay. Do I put in Chingling? Probably. Why not? Okay, so this is interesting. 50 here wouldn't do anything, so I'm just gonna, yeah, because Indeedee can heal 40, so I'm just gonna go ahead and try to take care of the Swablu. I really need to find my other Gible so that I can get other Garchomp, so I can ideally take care of this Giratina. Okay, he's gonna concede his Swablu. Chingling, that's not helpful. Well, that's a bummer. That's probably game. Actually, if I do this and it doesn't heal, then I can kill Giratina with Chingling, which would be hysterical. So let's see what happens. I could have put my other Chingling down there. I don't think it really matters, to be honest. Yeah, okay. That's game. I mean, there's not much I can do about that, to be honest. Oh, right. Indeedee? Yeah, okay. Good game. We keep losses in too. Keep it real. If I see anyone above level like 51 right now, I'm gonna know that they play some serious pocket. I'm confident at flipping heads, they say. Are you Mega Pinsir? It's a good starting hand. Really? I have never played against this. If you watch my tier list, I rated it somewhere in the middle, despite what other people have said, but I have never played against this thing. very curious. Well, you better have a lot of sustain. They already got leftovers. See if this thing can hold up. Oh boy, Shaman. But they're on full sustain, so I wonder PCL, Potion, Indeedee. They should be playing Indeedee. Just a way better version of Shaman. I don't want to put out Gibble yet because I don't want to get Sabrina or something. I just want to go full bore at this thing for a second. So 120, 130. I don't think they can get over 2 attacks for 100. But maybe they can. Who knows? Alright, I think we put down the Gibble. Oh no, Ryan. Well, because I didn't do what I was supposed to, we'll just go ahead and kill Shaman. Well, get close to killing Shaman at least. Oh boy, is that Wigglytuff? Where's Indeedee? Where is Indeedee? You need Indeedee. Alright, let's go PCL. Here. Put the right energy on this time. I wonder if I should just get a quick kill on the bench. Nah, we'll kill this thing. You can go to 60, 70, 80. Oh boy, this is a pain. Can they make it through another turn though? 30, 40, because they can do 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 of healing. I don't understand why they don't have Indeedee. Gonna try to get Garchomp. Deal. And PCL. How about that? I can't... That energy I missed earlier was bad. This thing would be dead. This is a grind of the game. No PCO, that's good. Why bother? Alright, suddenly the game feels winnable despite my mistake earlier. But let's see if it's actually winnable. I think they need a Sabrina. Otherwise, we're in a good spot. Unless they can generate energy out of nothing. Thank you for the free kill on the bench there, Jigglypuff. Unless you cape it. Well, good game. Man, I feel like I shouldn't have won that game. If I'm being 100% honest, I'm getting kind of frustrated with the 2 bad mistakes I made. I know it's just a game, but just being real with y'all, kind of mad at myself. And it's late, so I'm tired. So that doesn't help. But hey, we got there. Somehow we got there. Those were just 2 bad mistakes. The no copycat in that other game, and then the not attaching the energy to the lead Garchomp in that game to do 100 was bad. I basically took a turn off. All right, let's see if we can, you know, do something else cool, and then we'll shut it down for the evening. I'm a beginner, but you're in Master Ball. So how are you a beginner? Copycat could be good. Okay. Ooh, Magikarp, okay. Well, I can kill it turn... I'm not gonna use those because I have what I want in my hand. Although, if I draw... I could have done the Pokeballs to thin out my deck. Well, okay, that's good for them. They better get Gyarados soon though, because if they don't, then I'm coming for them. Alright, so Mantike's dead, that's clutch. They have to evolve actually the big Gyarados kind of this turn, because if they don't, I'm in a pretty commanding spot. Yeah, like this needs to be Gyarados, like now. If it is, they're in a very good spot. I guess they could have Misty'd there too. But yeah, they like really need this to be Gyarados. If not, we're probably cooking. This is fun art. But why would you... Oh, they're gonna evolve. I forgot about that attack. Oh. That's probably game. They just gave me another attack. I wonder if they don't know what Garchomp does. They just gave me an attack. I can one-shot the Magikarp and then I can one-shot the Mantike. Unless they evolve both of them right now. Of course they did. Of course they did. Gotta be kidding me, dude. Holy cow. That's tough. Alright, I think our only real chance here is me snipe this bench Gyarados and then Cyrus, because I don't know how I'm gonna win the game otherwise. I think this is my only shot. I have to snipe this thing. They might have to Misty. Did we do it? Oh, does it? They don't have it. Yes, come on. Whew, guys, I thought when they double evolved, I thought I was done. I think I'm just in a really pessimistic place right now. I thought I was done for. So, big time. Alrighty, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. That was definitely a roller coaster for me emotionally. As you can see, this deck is not bad. It's not high competitive. I wouldn't pretend it is, but it's not bad. It's pretty fun. Chingling's fun. You know, try it with a meta deck like Mega Altaria. Try it with Garchomp. Try it with something else. It's a fun Pokemon. I'm planning to be back as usual in a week next Thursday with another Heuristics Help, this time on Stage 1 Pokemon Math. It should not be near as long as the basic math video because that was kind of setting the foundation, and there's a ton of basic EX Pokemon, but I'm going to plan to look at the math for the Stage 1 Pokemon in general and then the Stage 1 specifically, and then we'll plan to do a tier list after that. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. See ya.